When people see Reuben driving a car and riding a horse and doing his acting, I think they see him as a high-flying little kid, good at everything, but they never see his real daily struggles with his dyspraxia.
So when did I find out about dyspraxia? I think it would have been when I was 6, because my brother went to this therapy thing because he had dyspraxia that he found out a couple of years before that. And that was when I first found out about it, but like a year later I was diagnosed with it.
Yeah, Reuben's got a big brother called Josh, and although Reuben wouldn't admit it, he actually adores him. And Josh, being 7 years older, has been really protective of Rue. He's been great. He's got such patience, so he's helped Reuben do a lot of things. He's been really great for him. When Rue was born, it was quite a traumatic time in my life. My parents were both very ill, so I didn't really notice a lot the first year because I was busy looking after them. He didn't speak till he was nearly 4, and he started to stammer when he spoke. Before that, he didn't really walk till he was 2, so I began to see that there was quite a few developmental marks that he wasn't reaching, so we began to wonder then. And then when he started school, that really kicked off by the time he got to 5, that he couldn't read, couldn't write like the other children.
When we found out that Reuben was diagnosed as having dyspraxia, it was a range of emotions. Relief that something had been found and was solidly diagnosed, and disappointment that he had a label. He's a brilliant character. He really is the class clown. He's always cracking a joke. Sometimes you just want to throttle him because he just goes on and he makes you laugh and laugh and laugh. No, get serious, please. But this is part of who he is. And he's always jumping around and jigging around, and he's always on the go.
Well, dyspraxia affects my everyday life because, like, writing, I can't write. And I knock drinks over a lot. Like, you wouldn't think so, but because of my balance and I can't think where stuff is, like, I'll go on my PlayStation one day and I'll pull up my drink right next to it, and I might knock it over with my feet when I'm on my PlayStation, but I won't realise that it was still there because my brain is kind of like just focused on one thing rather than trying to focus on a glass, because like my brain can't think of both of them, if that makes sense. Well, at school I had one subject that I was really good at, and that was science. And sadly I got a lot of detentions in it, but it wasn't because I was naughty, it was just because of my dyspraxia. I couldn't get my shoes on, and like when we've done PE we had science afterwards, and I couldn't get my tie on or do anything like that. I couldn't I could put on a jumper and do everything like that, but I wasn't fast enough. And normally I'd come in even 10 minutes late was good for me, and I'd still get a load of detentions. And yeah, it was just really sad because I was always classed as a bad kid in science when I really loved it. But yeah, that was kind of hurtful. So one time I was getting changed for just for the end of school, because on 1 week we'll have science afterwards, after PE, and 1 week we'll have PE and then we'll be going home. And I heard that the bus was going, and I was going as fast as I could, but I couldn't do anything. And I was going as fast, and like I was running really fast, thinking, okay, right, I have to like try and get dressed on the way. Anybody who's tried to do that, it's hard. And in the end, I managed to get on the bus, but with no underwear on.
Now, Reuben's had a great primary school, a local school just 4 miles away. Each of the teachers from the nursery and early years all the way through to the year before he went to secondary school, he was well looked after there. They really understood him. And in our books, we couldn't have paid for better education than what those teachers had given him there. what was an issue wasn't the teachers or the school, it was the environment that he was in. They teach the exam results, they don't tend to teach the subject. For instance, that Reuben had fallen behind. He hadn't developed at the same rate as everybody else had, and he was 2, 3, 4 years behind everybody else with his reading. And yet, in an exam situation, the teachers would come along and sit them at the desks and say, here's your paper. Well, if you can't read the paper, and you, as Reuben is left-handed and he writes back on himself like that, and he grips the pen like it's going to be a dagger, you know, he finds it really difficult. If you can't read the question, how can you give the answer? And if you can't write the answer, how can you get scored, marked on it?
Dyspraxia affected it a lot because there was like no pen license. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you're allowed to write with a pen instead of a pencil, and I never got it because I didn't have a good handwriting style or anything like that. Well, nobody could really read my work. It was just so annoying how I'd do my best and nobody could read it, so they just marked it as bad, really. I'm really creative in my mind, but I can't put these ideas onto the paper. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's because of dyspraxia, but it's just so annoying because I have all these brilliant ideas of stories that I can write and they'll be really good, but I can't get them onto the page.
So basically with Reuben's education, we decided to pull him out of mainstream school. His primary were absolutely brilliant and they really encouraged his acting, which he really enjoys. But we could see he was falling a lot behind with his reading and writing, just because of dyspraxia, nobody's fault whatsoever. So we decided in the end that there was no point him being in year 8, year 9 and being 4 years behind. If we could take him out of school, we could actually start right from the beginning. So we took him out of school and we got literally age 5, 6 books. I explained to him that his education was like a wall. It was very strong in some places, but other places was big holes. So we start at the beginning and build the wall up again.
So I have muscle problems in my hands and stuff, so I can't really control it. That's why I have to when I brush my teeth, I kind of get open up my nose and stuff because I have to have a specialised one, as you might have seen, because it's got two sides to it where I can brush without too much effort because I'll forget those parts and my muscles will just think, okay, we've done this, okay, we're done. So instead of me doing that, I'll have done twice as much and I will have been done instead of just doing half of the job. So that's one of the things about brushing teeth.
Lots of other things that's good for dyspraxia, like we've just got him a pony, which he's really enjoying. That's really hard for him.
The horse riding we have just really started on now. He's done little bits over the years, but it's all to do with fine motor skills. He's sitting up straight, not slouching. It's to do with body control. He is clumsy. His feet don't always seem to go in one direction. Walking, he seems to walk with a bit of a limp. But we've worked on various bits and pieces over the years.
Well, in my everyday life, I'm very lucky because once every 2 days I'll go out riding Charmer, as you've seen, because he's really fun to ride and he's like my little mate.
He's shortening his reins so he's in more control. The longer his reins are, the more control he has over his head. So he's just wanting to know, he knows where the door is, so he's wanting to go out of the door. So Rue needs to shorten his reins and control him and do as he's told. I was a teacher back in the day. I just do it for fun now. So it's just, I have my own horses. Rue bought one of my ponies and was very unconfident. And in 8 weeks? 8 weeks, Rue? Is it 8 weeks you've been riding, that's all? And he's absolutely come on amazing. I've been giving him odd lessons and he's come on amazingly. His confidence 100% or 98%, I would say. I don't see as there's any differences. He talks too much. That's his only bad point. But no, he seems to be coping just like any normal child. He's perfect. We've been practicing getting his legs stronger. Previous times it's been about control, with his hands more, basically learning him to do trotting, rising trot. Today he wanted to learn to canter, so we've been concentrating on his leg control, gripping with his legs and controlling of his legs, which in turn will make his calf muscles a lot stronger. The way we're doing at the minute, he's doing absolutely fantastic just in 8 weeks, so I think he's adequate. Another 4 weeks, something like that, he'd be well aware. He was well aware today. And he's only for a novice rider, which is what Rue wanted him for. But he's great to teach, Rue. But he is a bit lazy, so Rue has to work a lot harder than a normal horse that would want to be just off and go. But it's finding that balance, and I think he's got his perfect balance with this horse. He's not too forward going. Rue has to work to get his muscles going on him, and he's great to teach him on. And they're both basically learning together.
Reuben has various interests in life, and the one that's come up in the last year, as per a lot of kids in the UK or even around the world, is Fortnite. He is pretty awesome. So I'm told there's about 200 million people play this game. And yes, I'm one of them, but I can't do what Reuben can do. He can build brilliantly fast forts, and he's super quick when he gets into skirmishes with other people. And apparently I think he's in about the top 10% of the 1%.
So I love to play Fortnite because there's so much stuff that can happen in it, and people think that dyspraxia would go against it. And to be honest, it does. It does put me at a disadvantage, but I've fought through doing that. I can play with people who've had problems like me, and I can help people with kind of the same problems. And because they're not popular and they're not good at the game, I can help them to get good at the game. So I love being able to work through it.
Reuben's really good at acting. He's an absolute natural, and so we're trying to hone that. And so that's might be the thing that we're trying to get him to major on, not because we want fame and fortune, but we want him to be good at something.
With my acting, I've done films in Norway, Italy, where else? Yeah, Norway and Italy and France.
And he's done various bits and bobs through the years. And we're really pleased with the way that, as a young man, he's really mature in front of a camera. So that could be his one big thing.
Is it done? Has my wish come true?
Indeed, it has. Now we must take our final step through the door.
But where does it lead?
I've recently been practicing an American accent, which I've known for like 3-4 years now, and I've been getting tutored by a person in LA who seems to tutor kids from ITV stuff and BBC and a load of different productions. I've tried everything to become super. I let a spider bite me. No spider powers, just a lot of itching. I tried standing too close to the microwave oven, hoping the radiation would change me. Nothing. And I got into trouble for making so many bags of popcorn. But I took it all to school and I had a popcorn party. I was a hero that day, so I guess it kind of worked.
So I think the thing that is the hardest about dyspraxia is that Reuben will come down in the morning and basically, as I say, he really struggles to brush his teeth because of his wrists. he struggles to put his shoes on. Because of dyslexia or dyspraxia, I don't know, his jumper might be on back to front. You look at a child there and you think, oh, this child can't do anything. But that afternoon we might get on a train, go to London where he does his acting, and he might be doing a voiceover or something. And basically there's this little boy in a studio with 20 people around giving him instructions, and he just nails it. And so it's really frustrating because they only see this really clever, polished little kid, as I see the little child who struggles as well. So I want to try and push it over to the child who can do stuff, but also try and teach him that there'll be some things he can't do, so he's got to try and compensate for that.
Reuben has one or two benefits of living on a farm, and within that he also has a big brother who just recently upgraded his car, and the price that Josh was going to get for his first car in a trade-in was very minimal, so it ended up being Reuben's car. And because we have quite a few fields around us, that gives Reuben the luxury of being able to go out and learn how to put his hand-to-eye coordination, his left foot and his right foot and the gear stick. It gives him a chance of doing something that not many other kids would manage to do.
So yeah, this is my car, and I asked Mum when I could drive a car, and she was like, well, you have to be at least like 17. I was like, 17? In America it's 15. And I was hoping it would be 15 for here too, because that would mean that I'd only have 2 years. And I couldn't really wait because, you know, I just really like cars and like car movies and stuff like that, so I really wanted one for myself. And so fast forward a few weeks, and my brother was selling his old car, which you guessed it, is right here. And I was like, I bet I can pay more than the garage. A bit of debating later, I got it, and now I like to ride it, and it's really fun. I'm still learning, but you know, it's nice to rally and get stuck a lot. Okay. I have a quad bike, and it's really fun to ride around on it. I don't get too much because it's Dad's work quad bike, and he uses it a lot for getting up and down the hill and, you know, fetching sheep in and stuff like that. So I don't get to ride it much, but it is really fun when I do because I have, like, obviously you're not normally allowed to ride a quad bike, but he's been training me for the last 4 years, and he thinks that I'm ready to, you know, be able to ride one with the responsibility of it. And I'm really thankful for that, and I'm pretty good with it. So yeah, it's just really fun to ride around, and hopefully one day when my friends come around, I can put them on the trailer and we can skid around the field. How would I feel if I didn't have dyspraxia? Oh, I'd feel so good because I'd be able to ride a bike, I'd be able to go out with my friends without stabilisers, and I'd be able to swim.
Always said as a child, he says, Dad, he says, I hate my fingers, I hate my hands, they won't do what I want them to do.
I don't know how to explain it. I'd just basically be free. It's like I'm a bird with a broken wing and I want to fly. That's basically what it's like.